by FanDuel. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth-quarter comeback, you can stay in on the action, and if you're looking for bigger payouts, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. We will talk about tonight's Knicks-Cavs ESPN game a little later in the show, but let's talk about their win last night over Brooklyn to kick things off. It was their first game back from the All-Star break. It was a sloppy offensive first half, but in the second half, the offense came alive and the defense was dominant. Bull, Dustin, Jay, and Dustin, I want to start with you.
Yeah.
Do you shake off the first half to just being rusty after a week off, and how do you get a more consistent defensive effort like we saw in the second half? Because what they did in the second half was incredible.
I would say that every team, every game, first game off the All-Star break, for the most part, every year, if you watch these games, I've got degenerate friends who all are, betting the under on this. So last night, unders went 5-1, which tells you something. It's a little sloppy. Teams coming back off the break, kind of easing their way back into things, and that's what you saw, I think, in the first half. And really, Donovan started turning it on at the end of the first half and took over there in the second as well. But their defense is great. I mean, the Nets couldn't score. I mean, in the fourth quarter, they went into full lockdown mode, and the Nets couldn't really do anything. So you also you're the Cavs, you're looking ahead a little bit to tonight and this weekend, nationally televised games as opposed to playing, in Brooklyn against a terrible team. You're just looking forward to probably just getting back to Cleveland and getting back on the court here in front of your home fans.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Well, I full disclosure, I didn't watch the whole game. I was glued to the hockey. So
most people
which we're going to talk about later.
Yes,
yep.
And I'm glad we are. I followed it very closely, though, and I saw, wow, this is close. I check it out. Oh, wow, we don't look sharp. I think what it was, do you know how, Bull, when the Guardians, I don't know if they're doing it this year, they're not, but a lot of times, like the Pirates in spring training, before they get into their MLB Grapefruit League schedule, they will play Allegheny University.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I think the way the Cavs looked at this game last night was, we're playing Allegheny University.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to gear up for the spring training portion of our season, which will get us ready for the regular season. And I think the Cavs looked at this as, we've been off for 8 days, we're rusty, we've got a big game tomorrow night, let's do the bare minimum. And I think the reason I think this is important, I think that championship caliber teams with that pedigree, know how to feather the gas and the brake. And in the past, I wasn't sure this team did. But I think last night was a perfect example of how they know when to ease off on the gas and when to hit it. Tonight, they need to hit it. Last night, I think they did the bare minimum. They got the victory. They looked great when they needed to in the fourth quarter. So that's my take.
I hate to say it, but because we're critical and we've been critical of the All-Star game and guys not playing hard in the regular season. But the reality is, you're not going to play a 10 out of 10 for 48 minutes in every game. It's just not going to work that way.
You better not.
Right. And so, they knew they could beat the Nets with a C effort even.
Yep.
And when they needed to, they turned it on in the second half, and they did what they had to do.
Do you agree that that's what winners are able to do?
I think so.
Part of professional sports, though, too. I mean, you play so many games where you can't have it every single night for the full 48 minutes.
Right.
And not that you pick and choose your moments when you're going to turn it on, but they had to do that last night. They just didn't have it at the start of the game. And,
right.
And to be fair, not a lot of players did across the league last night. It was a tough night.
I'm surprised the 5-1 on the under. I'm surprised Vegas hasn't adjusted for that.
Yeah,
because that has been a trend.
Maybe they did, and it still went under.
Yeah,
well, they could have.
The under last night was not high for Cavs Nets.
No, it was.
It wasn't for all of the
24, I think, right?
And I think that because of what you speak of, to Bull's point, they're really coasting.
Yeah, and I'm not like Mike when we were talking about it in the car. It was like, well, is there anything you're worried about with this? And I'm like, no, I'm not worried about this. If over the next 2 weeks, as they play a number of good teams here, starting with the Knicks. if they, get smoked in some of these games, okay, maybe there's some concern there. But because they didn't play great for 48 minutes against a bad team, I'm not going to get worked up.
You know what I love was, and I don't know if Kenny Atkinson addressed this before the game or not, if it just happened by happenstance. To me, I would have much rather seen the game unfold the way it did than say the Cavs blow them out in the first half and then look bad in the second half, and then that's your slingshot into the Knicks.
Yeah.
Instead, we had a gradual build up to let's get back to real basketball, and then the fourth quarter, to your point, like
they couldn't score
find
at all,
a basket.
dude. I mean,
and that was effort.
21-6, I think they came out in the start that fourth quarter.
It's crazy. And so to me, I like the way, whether it was planned or not, I like the way it unfolded, because at least now they don't come into this Knicks game with, a bad half after a blowout first half. They ramped up. They played their best basketball the last 8 to 12 minutes, and they're ready for tonight.
And especially since it's a back-to-back, and obviously the Knicks
Right.
are playing a back-to-back too, and the Knicks, we'll get more into that in a minute, but they had to go to overtime. Their best guys played a lot of minutes in the first game
good
back.
for us.
So that's an advantage for the Cavs.
It's a sign of a good basketball team when you can play a C minus game and win by double digits.
Yeah.
And granted, the Nets are not a juggernaut opponent by any means, but they had won 6 of 7 prior to the break, and they had been the best defensive team over the final 2 weeks of the first half of the season. And it showed in the first half. They actually did a really good job kind of throwing Cleveland off its scent in terms of what it was looking for from an offensive shot standpoint. But they did not play well last night, and they won with ease.
Yeah.
And at some point over the final 27 games now was you try and, I don't want to say load manage, but minute manage some of these guys to be able to win by 12, 13, 14 points in a game where you have your C game is a great sign and a testament to how good this Cavaliers team actually is.
How critical is it, Mike? You talk about load management in this last, 25 games or so. I don't think that we've made a big enough deal or talked enough about the fact that they have a 5.5 game cushion for the 1 seed in the East.
That's huge. Did Boston play yesterday?
They were off.
They did. No, they won last night.
Oh, they
beat
did.
the
I thought they
Sixers
were.
by like
Yeah, that's right. I saw
55.
that.
So there's so it's still 5.5, but they're actually up 6 in the loss column.
Right.
So right now, it is huge.
We're almost in magic number territory.
Right, and the thing is, a perfect scenario is that you lock up that 1 seed with like 2 weeks to go.
Right.
And then you could really be, you don't want to sit guys like.
And the other thing too is they'll still be in it with OKC. Because they're
That's
currently
true.
tied for the
That's
overall
true.
one. And so I wonder how Kenny Atkinson will manage that.
I
Well,
wonder
if you look at how they play, real quick, Bull, but
Yeah.
if you look at how he used the guys last night, first game back out of the break.
Right.
Some guys in All-Star or played in All-Star weekend, and that was strenuous minutes or not. You can decide. Guys who didn't play.
I think
They look like
I don't think
practice.
we need to decide. I think we know they were not
last
strenuous.
night, this was the minute distribution in the Cavs game last night. Strus played 24 minutes. Mobley played 30 minutes. Allen played 25. Mitchell 30. Garland 28.5. Jerome 17. Hunter 26.5. Merrill played 25. Okoro played 17.
Yeah,
It's
nobody
first night
more
of
than
back-to-back.
30. Yeah.
This is the Knicks last night. This is their top 8. Are you ready? And once again, they played Cleveland tonight, and they went to overtime, granted. Mikal Bridges played 43.5 minutes. Precious Achiuwa played 46 minutes.
Nice.
Karl Anthony Towns played 43 minutes.
Wow.
Jalen Brunson played 39 minutes. Miles McBride played 42 minutes. That's their starting 5.
Yeah.
Their bench, 17, 17, 16.
All right, good for us.
All 5 starters played at least 38.5 minutes
Yeah.
last
Wow.
night. Not a single Cav played 38 minutes last night. Not a
Yeah.
single Cav played over 32
30.
minutes last night.
Yeah, that's great for us. Great for us.
Certainly bodes well.
I love the load management thing. If you can win and you can control minutes and keep your guys fresh and healthy and ready for the postseason, that's a bonus.
I like using guys less minutes in a game rather than sitting a whole game.
I agree with that.
I think it's better, and it's better for the fans. If
Yeah.
LeBron, don't have LeBron take a day off. Just have him play less minutes. Play 15
20,
minutes that night.
whatever.
Whatever.
And if you do that over the course of the season, it's still going to come out to the same amount of minutes. But you can sneak in 78 or 80 games instead of 68 or
That's
70.
Right. And fans don't miss out on seeing the best players, at least for a little bit.
I know we're not going to talk about it in today's show, but, and there are reasons for this, but it struck me as we were trying to figure out how to make the All-Star game more interesting as we've been watching this Four Nations Classic. How hard – now, hockey is not a game that you can take your foot off the gas. If you're not playing at that speed, you're going to get wallpapered. You're going to get crushed. But it was so refreshing to watch these players go outside of their season and play essentially what is this all-star tournament.
Yeah.
And how much, Jesus,
How
you
much
talk
they
about
competed, the effort, the intensity.
Wait until the ratings come out today.
Yeah.
This was tickets were going for over $2,000 a piece. And I know I'm not sure you could capture that exact intensity with the NBA, but I'll tell you, I think you'll see a big increase in the way players approach it and the way fans treat it
Sure.
if it was the world versus the USA. Ask any of those guys that were either in the building last night watching in Boston or that played in that game. That was played like Game 7 of Stanley Cup playoff finals. I've been watching hockey my entire life. That game was incredible. High intensity. And it meant, technically it meant nothing. It wasn't for a gold medal.
No.
It was for pride.
No,
even
that is something, by the way.
Yeah.
It is, but that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes the most important thing.
It's not like it was a gold medal. Like in 2010, they beat us, same score, same exact scenario, a gold goal in sudden death, 3-2 in the 2010 Olympics. And this Team USA has been carrying that for 15 years. And they had the opportunity last night to change it. And it was very disappointing that they didn't. But I bring all that up to say it meant almost more than an Olympic gold medal to the U.S. Probably not to Canada, but to the U.S., it's all they've got right now. And it would have helped erase some of those devastating losses in the past.
Even baseball, and a lot of baseball fans have poo-pooed it, but the World Baseball Classic, was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Well, last year was
Trout,
Japan
Ohtani.
and USA. And we got the Ohtani and the
Trout.
Trout at bat to end it.
And that was
Oh,
amazing.
my God. High drama.
You know, and the players were into it.
They were.
Big time. And
Especially
I know
the Dominican players and the players from the countries that have long been fighting for the respect they think they deserve.
Sure,
That's their chance to show it.
By the way, right now they're doing some preliminary rounds of the World Baseball Classic leading up to the next World Baseball Classic. And I saw yesterday that the South African team, I didn't even know they had a team.
Wow,
but
I didn't either.
Maybe new in the mix, pulled off a hidden ball trick.
Oh, really? I love it. I love it.
Which is wild.
Real quick on
Go ahead.
the Cavs defense last night in the fourth quarter. I wanted to mention this because before the All-Star break, I think it was the second last game before the All-Star break against Minnesota, Jarrett Allen in his post-game presser when they beat the Timberwolves said, we're not necessarily happy where we're ranked defensively. We're number 8, 9, depending on the night. We want to be a top 5 defense. We still think we can be a top 5 defense. And in the fourth quarter last night, and it was more the whole second half, but particularly in the fourth quarter, they put the clamps on Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's not a great offensive team, so take it with a bit of a grain of salt, and it's the first day out of the All-Star break. But completely took Brooklyn out of what they were trying to run offensively with a lineup that did not have Dean Wade in it yet.
Right.
But it had size, length, athleticism, and the versatility to switch everything that Brooklyn wanted to do. And once again, Brooklyn is not Boston. Brooklyn is not the Knicks. It'll be a different test tonight against New York. But the way they were able to counter every action that Brooklyn was trying to run by switching and keeping guys in front because they didn't have a defensive liability that you could just straight up hunt and say, this guy's the guy we're attacking, that's a top 5 defense. And right now I'm looking at the defensive rating. They're 8th. They're 2 points behind Boston for 5th.
Wow.
I think they're going to make a conscious effort to try and climb into that top 5 status by the end of the season, and it is certainly obtainable. And now with all the weapons they have in Kenny's arsenal on the wing, when Javonte Green gets into the fold for the regular season, with DeAndre Hunter, Dean Wade's playing tonight for the first time in 2 weeks. Okoro played last night after missing 14 games. They got a chance to, when they need to get stops, be able to put out a lineup that can, on paper, force any offensive fivesome to get and take difficult shots, which is all you can ask for.
That's what you want in the playoffs. I mean, that's why this trade was made.
Crucial in the playoffs.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that I think you're right. They are going to be at the end of the year probably a top 5 defense, as constituted right now with the players they have on this roster right now. I know you don't want to wish away the regular season, and it's enjoyable in the playoff
wish it
round.
away.
If someone told me the Eastern Conference Finals start tomorrow, Game 1 in Cleveland, I don't think I could be more excited about it.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm actually, when LeBron was here, it really was, we'll see you in the finals. But now I think we can enjoy the whole postseason. I know you're saying Eastern Conference Finals, and yes, if they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a disaster.
It is.
But I think we can enjoy, because the Cavs are good. I don't think they're good enough that they're going to just demolish these other teams in the other rounds.
Right.
I mean, I would expect them to win the first round comfortably, but like if they play Milwaukee or Indiana in the second round, I don't expect them to sweep that series.
I could see either of those going 6 games.
Yeah, be
It's the
competitive.
playoffs.
So I'm looking. I can't wait for the playoffs because
Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's time.
Give me
I
some
know,
warm
you've
weather,
said the
too.
regular
Warm
season's
weather,
dead
being
to you.
outside downtown
Yeah.
Cleveland, like give me those days.
Yes.
Fast
I'm ready.
forward right now to
I'm ready. I'm
to-
so
to
done with
May.
February.
Give me some May.
Oh yeah.
It's the
weather's
shortest
terrible.
month of the year. For some reason, it
This
seems
weather
like it's been going on for 100 days already.
Jay, I know you didn't watch the game. Bull, did you see it live last night?
Some of it. I was in and out.
Steve, take 299 full. Just watch this first play from Evan Mobley. Jay, if you didn't see this, check this out. It's Cam Johnson he's going against, by the way.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yeah.
He does something like this almost on a
Wow.
nightly basis. Steve, you could just keep replaying that. Yeah. He does something like this on a nightly basis now. For a 6'11 guy with the coordination and the ability to keep the momentum going without getting thrown off his path while taking a gather step off a spin with his head not looking at the bucket and then finish with the reverse. Like,
Yeah. I think it's all about
Just silly.
confidence, Mike. I think he's just the confidence. You could see it. It's just growing in him. To me, it was kind of stagnated his first few years in the league. He never really. I don't think the confidence grew, and I think there was something about the way he played in that series against Boston last year when Donovan was hurt, and the Cavs didn't win, obviously, but Evan played really well in that series.
You
against
think that's
Boston.
where his turnaround
I
began?
think that was it.
Yeah.
I think that was it because ever since then, from the moment the season started, he has played with a level of confidence that we have not seen anything close to before.
And I know we're going to talk about it in the WKYC show at 12:30 on Channel 3, but it bears, I think we should bring it up here. We're going to ask the question, and I love that you put it in the rundown, Mike. He actually said at the All-Star break, 5 years from now, he and Wemby are going to be the best two players in the NBA.
I mean, talk about
amongst the
confidence.
best. And that, can you imagine that coming out of his mouth last year?
Never.
It seems like he's transformed his entire DNA.
This is going to sound silly, but I'm not going to play the clip for time, but when he answered, you could hear him. He says very audibly to
He
the
leaned
reporter,
into it.
Leaned into it, me or Wemby. I'm telling you guys, if he was asked that question last year, Jay, ask me the question. I'll answer how Evan would have answered it last
So,
year.
Evan, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in the NBA pantheon of great players?
Yes, me or Wemby, one of us will be the two best players.
See, I don't even think he would have said that. I mean, because
No, but I'm saying even
thesis
if he
stays
wouldn't have projected it. Like, he said it with his chest.
right. I know,
He
but I think
actually
it would
said
have been
with
like.
his
Now you
chest.
ask me the question.
Evan, in the next 5 years, who do you think will be the best player in the NBA?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'd like to be in the top 20 by then, but I don't know who's going to be the best.
Incredible turnaround from
He
a
was
confidence.
so
Yeah.
timid. He was a completely different character.
You guys are getting kinky with this role play.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it with you.
Okay, is it my turn?
Evan,
Felt left out?
all right, role play time is over on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It's a good point, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Now that I look back on it, it
what
was
it
a little weird.
It was, yeah.
We have our guest ready. Join us at a very interesting time here. If you're